Welcome back to my garden. This is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. First, I really must say thank you to everybody who attended my open garden day for the Garden Conservancy last Saturday. We had the most gorgeous weather. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Thank you all for your support. So today I want to continue on. Last week we talked about, or in the last video, we talked about purple leafed plants. Today, I want to talk about purple flowering plants. And believe me, the list is endless. So I'm obviously not going to cover them all. I'm going to cover ones that are in my garden. And even then, I'm not covering every single last one because there are, I could go on for hours. And then in my next video, I'm going to talk about those lemon lime green plants that are a beautiful accent and pair with all the purple. So stay tuned. And let's get walking. Talk about purple flowering plants. We were just talking about the purple leafed plants, but let's talk about purple flowering plants. In my garden, you can't talk about purple flowering plants without talking about Nepeta Walker's Low. It is literally my favorite perennial. I don't know if I have a bed that doesn't include it. I get continuous bloom and rebloom all summer long. This is about as tall as it gets, like 24 to 30 inches tall. Again, it blooms April to September. It is deer tolerant. You can shear it after flowering, get a second flush. I usually don't. Like some of these things, who has time for some of this stuff? Hummingbirds love it. I was watching out my front window the other day and just sitting there watching a hummingbird. It was so lovely. Just got that loose lavender blue flower, very aromatic gray-green foliage. I love it. Nepeta Walker's Low. It stays pretty compact versus some of the others like Six Hills Giants. I know there's some smaller varieties out now, Cat's Pajamas and some other ones. I know Proven Winners has come out with some, but they're different varieties of this. So this is Nepeta Walker's Low. So I love alliums. Plus they're great with the garlic smell to help keep away some pests. This is Globe Master, zone 5 through 8. You have the leaf down on the bottom, and then the blooms shoot up. This gets planted in the fall, like 4 to 6 inches deep. Butterflies, bees love it. There are also other varieties that are purple, like Purple Sensation, which is a zone 4, Gladiator. They bloom in the spring, and with this huge globe, deep purple. Just beautiful. Makes a nice cut flower also. So I have it here with Nepeta Walker's Low. I have purple daylilies. I have purple salvia in there, right there. And the Still Be Chocolate Shogun that I talked about at the purple leaf plants. And down at the end over there, I have Siberian irises. So let's walk down and talk about the Siberian iris. I have a few varieties of Siberian iris. I think this one is Caesar's brother. I've had some that have been given to me as gifts along the way. Zone 3 through 9 gets about 4 by 3, full sun, part shade. Butterflies love them. They do tolerate rabbits and deer. Beautiful spiky foliage, which is very strap-like, and then delicate flowers. And here's an example of an old bloom. So it does help if you deadhead them, pull the old bloom off. It'll encourage more blooms. So, and the different, let's see if I can find one. The base of the petals is a little different on the different Siberian irises. Let me see if I can actually do this with one hand. Maybe not. They're a little different than the bearded irises. They form this nice clump. I like Siberian irises. I have them tucked in a few spots. I've had better luck with these than I have with the bearded irises. Tell me which ones are your favorites. Maybe there's a purple variety I need to try. Here's one over here. There you can see, really pretty. So it's almost impossible to talk about purple flowering plants without talking about lilacs. The hummingbirds love them, the bees, the butterflies. Um, if you need to, if it's not flowering well, you want to cut the spent blossoms off as soon as they finish blooming. If you cut it any later, you're going to be cutting off next year's blooms because it's going to set seed, and you don't want it to. Let's get in there. Uh, you don't want it to. You don't want to cut off next year's blooms by waiting too late. I have different varieties. I have Charles Jolly that already finished blooming. I have Monge, which are these. I have just got Bloomerang dark purple. I have some Miss Kim's. I'm a little different varieties, colors. I had Purple Sensation. Yeah, it died. I really want to replace that one because I love it. Like I said, if you're going to remove the blooms, do it immediately after it flowers. But they're just a staple of, I think, any spring garden. Typically, hardy down to zone 3. She can't talk today. Another one of my favorite purple flowering plants is Salvia. This is Caradona, zone 4 through 8, grows in full sun with this blue-violet flower, June to September. You can deadhead them. You can shear it back for a second flush. It just depends. If I have the time, maybe I'll do it. But again, this, just like Nepeta, Walker's Low, I have all over my beds. So this is clematis. I have both Elsa's Bath, which is this one. I have Diana's Delight that I have in the back on a support growing up. Zone 4 through 9 for Elsa's Bath. This is a group 2 vining clematis. So you're going to prune it just above a bud. Blooms early summer to early fall with this pretty blue purple. So group 2 clematis. Going to selectively prune them in the spring, cut out dead stuff, and then you can prune them after flowering. I have this one. Let's see if I can show it to you. With New Dawn roses going up the arbor and over here. The Elsa's Bath is on this side. And then I have Amethyst Falls wisteria on this side, which at the moment is not blooming. I see one little, can I even get to it? I see a little bud right there. So this is just starting. This is a little late this year, but we cut it back quite a bit this year. We cut it back quite a bit. So that's a wisteria. I also have, which also, now the next ones that I'm going to talk about, most of them have either finished or they haven't started yet. So I'm going to pop pictures on the screen. So I think I talked earlier this year about Camassia, is a perennial bulb. Whoops. Nope, that's not going to work. There we go. It's pretty much all finished in there right now. But it had, it's a bulb. You're going to plant it in the fall, zone 5 through 9, 3 to 4 feet tall, blooms in May. You could plant it 4 to 6 inches deep, 6 inches apart, tolerates clay soil, which is good for us. It's got a really pretty star-shaped flower that opens from the bottom to the top. Another one in this bed, let me see if I can find it, Geranium Roseanne. Let's see if we can get in there. Geranium Roseanne. Oh, sorry. Not so easy getting down here and trying to get that in focus for you. Zone 5 to 8. So this is a hardy geranium. I have several clumps of that in this bed. It's just starting to bloom now, but it's a great ground cover though. It'll last all season. Violet blue flowers with the white center, tolerates rabbits and deer, thank God, because rabbits are driving me nuts at the moment. And it'll bloom throughout the summer, full sun. And again, if it gets too leggy and spreading, you can just shear it back to rejuvenate it. So this is Monkshood. I have never had my monkshood get to be this size this early in the year because it doesn't bloom until like September or October. With a really deep blue, like a helmet-shaped spike flower. This is Hydrangeas. I have 3 of them. It says 2 to 4 feet tall, but you can see this is already probably almost as tall as I am. Aconitum is the actual name. Another one that is now starting to open. Let's see, I have baptisia here. I have a couple varieties, Twilight Prairie Blues, really pretty purple. So these are just starting. They're not doing as well this year. I don't know why. Having a lot of issue with snails. If you have a good solution besides hand picking them off, I would love to know because I am so tired of picking them off. So this is Monkshood. Let's look at Veronica next. So this is Veronica, Culver's root. Sends up a lilac blue purple spike starting like midsummer, zone 3 to 9. Like gets 3 feet tall, deer resistant, bees love it. This clump has really increased, which I'm very excited about. I have it with, there's a mock orange right behind this, a Philadelphus, which shortly should be covered in the most fragrant white blooms. So I have it with some yellow-green, creeping Jenny. We have Amsonia that just finished here with the blue-purple. We'll have some yellow behind it and rose over here. So that's Veronica. This is a relatively new plant for me. I've only had this for a couple years and it's finally putting on some growth. Usually takes a couple years for things to really come into themselves, so be patient. This is beautyberry, and I'm definitely, like I said, I'll put pictures on the screen of what these things look like in bloom because right now a lot of these things are fall bloomers for me. This beautyberry, Calicarpa, this variety is early amethyst. It gets a glossy amethyst purple berry that lines the entire length of the stem. It's really pretty. Zone 5 through 8. Gets like 4 to 5 feet tall. The birds love the berries. It blooms on new wood, so you can prune it early in the spring, and you can prune it really hard. This one I pruned really hard this year, but it's a really nice, round, deciduous shrub, I think you can see. And again, you can shape it into any shape that you like, but you can keep it under control. I have it right in front of this Abies concolor. Let me back up so you can see. With a barberry over there, some daylilies and some grasses, a little bit of color. We have red, we have blue, we have green, we have yellow, a little bit of everything. I don't even think you can see this. This is Veronica, a New York ironweed. Blooms in September with a purple flower. It says it gets 3 feet tall. Okay, I have it on a tower that's like 7 or 8 feet tall. So it really gets big. Hummingbirds love it. And it blooms in the summer. I'll find a picture. Veronica, iron butterfly. Another fall favorite, of course, are the asters. Not the annuals, ones that you typically like buy at the roadside stands. This one is Raiden's favorite. I've already pinched it back, and that'll control the size and produce some more blossoms. It's a great pollinator plant, full sun. Makes a good cut flower. It attracts butterflies and bees. Zone 3 to 8. It's about 3 by 2. Makes a nice cut flower, and it'll bloom in the fall. I also have another one. I think Purple Dome might be the one that I have. Also a zone 3 to 8. Gets about 18 inches tall. And that's a dark purple daisy-like blossom with a yellow center. Again, late summer to fall. So the asters are always a great choice for that dark purple flowering plants. So something I'm trying new this year, this is a yarrow called New Vintage Violet. Gets like 12 by 12, zone 4 to 8, center shade, stays nice and compact with a bold violet red foliage through the summer, and it'll reflower. I have it next to some Nepeta Walker's Low, of course, some ruby ribbons grass, right here, some agastache over here. So I have a grouping of them here. This is a Yarrow, Achillea. Well, these look like they're just finishing because these are new plants. This is Baptisia purple smoke. Attracts butterflies, pollinators, 3 to 4 feet tall, blooms late spring to early summer, makes a good cut flower. And behind it, I have some foxglove Dalmatian purple and some foxy foxglove, 2 to 4 feet tall with tall purple spikes, some bell-shaped flowers, and that can reseed. And I have some reseeding over there. So we'll see how that comes up. This is an area in my yard. I don't know why the rabbits seem to like this particular area. We're always spraying it, but it never fails that I come out and, coneflowers are eaten or something else. And, between that and the snails this year, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm always open for suggestions. If you have a suggestion on how to battle any of these things, please let me know. So of course, one of the prettiest is the hydrangea. This is the Bloomstruck series. It's a big leaf hydrangea, zone 4 through 9, part shade, gets 4 to 5 feet tall. You're going to prune it immediately after flowering down to a healthy bud. You can prune in the very late winter, very early spring, only dead or damaged stuff because you don't want to cut off the blooms. This blooms on old wood. And you'll get nice purple blooms if you have acidic soil, and you can always add stuff to change the color, but I like Bloomstruck. It doesn't always do well. Last year, Bloomstruck did really well in my neighborhood. That sounds silly. Like if you go down to Long Island, you go out to Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, the blue hydrangeas are just gorgeous. These big leaf, they're just so pretty, but they don't always do very well here. We don't have the best soil, the best environment. We don't have that nice salty air, but they're worth trying. And last but not least, with purple flowers in my garden is an aster, Stokecia honeysong purple. This is zone 5. It's a late blooming native, bright purple flowers with like a red tint with white stamens. The butterflies love it. Huge 4-inch flowers. It's a great cut flower. It'll bloom like midsummer to early fall. Some of the ones I have, let's see, over here, trying to stay out of that bright sun, but are starting to get some buds forming. So that's it for the purple flowers in my yard. Next up, I think what I'm going to talk about is all those bright yellow green plants. And then of course, Spirea ogon, creeping jenny. So we'll look at those a little more. I love the spireas. I have so many different varieties. So stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll get to all these different things as the season goes on.